Number 9 says 2y minus x equals 6 and 3y minus x equals 4. Okay, so I need to solve for one variable in one of the equations. I would probably go for one of these x's because I don't have numbers in front of them. However, they do have negative signs in front of them, so that's going to mess us up a little bit. Which one do you feel like? Top or bottom? Top. Okay, let's get the top one to have x by itself. So how would I get x by itself in the top one? Okay, so you're moving the x to the other side. I want to try to get the x by itself. So I'm going to move the 2y to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 2y. Because remember I told you, I know the examples we did in class, we got y by itself every time. But it can be x. You can get x by itself too. So this would be negative x. Just don't lose track of that negative sign there. Equals negative 2y plus 6. And then what do I have to do about that negative sign? Okay, there's the technical way, and then there's sort of the shortcut way. Technically, this is a negative 1. So if that's a negative 1, how do I get rid of it? I would have to divide everything by negative 1, right? But really, what is dividing by negative 1 going to do? It's just going to change the signs on everything. Yeah, it's going to change the signs. So really what's going to happen is this is going to become a positive, this is going to become a positive, and this is going to become a negative. All right, so it's got to change the signs on everything. So your equation is really x equals positive 2y minus 6. Okay, that makes sense, solving for that? That was a tricky one. That was a tough one to do. One okay so far? Okay, let's take what x is equal to then. X is equal to 2y minus 6. And I'm going to put that into this equation in place of x. And here's another stumbling point on this one. There's a negative sign in front of this x. So I need to make sure that I get that negative distributed to my x. Okay, here's what this is going to look like. 3y minus, and then in parentheses, I would write 2y minus 6 equals 4. So it's just this equation all over again, except instead of x, I put in 2y minus 6. Notice how I put those parentheses there, though. And that's the thing that people are going to miss. Because there's no number in front of x, so you might think like, oh, I don't have anything to distribute, I don't have to worry about a parenthesis. But that negative sign needs to get distributed, because you need to subtract this whole thing. So what's really going to happen here is you're going to get a negative 2y, again, because we just flipped all these, but now we're flipping them back. And a negative negative makes a positive. Okay. So now 3y minus 2y is 1y. 1y plus 6 equals 4. Subtract that 6. And I end up with y equal to negative 2. Okay. Now what? Am I done?
No.
What do I still need to go find?
X.
Okay, how am I going to do it, Isaiah?
Oh, you're gonna plug in the negative 2.
Yep.
For the y.
Yep.
Z.
I would plug it in actually up here.
Yeah.
Where it says x equals blah, blah, blah. Because if you're trying to find what x is, that's the best place to look, is something that tells you what x is. It says x equals 2y, so 2 times negative 2, minus 6. Let's see, that's negative 4 minus 6, which is negative 10. So your final coordinate would be negative 10, negative 2. That makes sense? Cool. Okay, what else do you want to see from that sheet? Emily?
Number 10.
10. 10 freak you out if you get a decimal? Okay, yeah. 10, you do get a decimal. It's a small decimal. And I do want to point out, A lot of the times when we give you these problems, we make them so they don't come out to be decimals, which makes you think when you get a decimal that you must have done something wrong. Normally I like that line of thinking, but it is possible to get decimal answers. Okay, so don't freak out too much if you get a decimal. However, I normally try to give you problems where you won't get a decimal just so that you'll know if you're getting them right or not. Okay, so where does it look like I have something that would be easy to get by itself?
Oh, right there.
This y, right? I could take this 5x away. Take away the 5x. And I end up with y equals negative 5x plus 2. And I'm going to take what y equals, all of this, and plug it in for y up here. So I'm plugging it in right there. So now that top equation is going to say 5x minus 6, and then parentheses, negative 5x plus 2 equals 16. Any questions on how I did that? I find that at this point in the game, a lot of students get this part. There's no problem with plugging things in. There's no problem with setting it up. Now it's just the solving. And most of the time it's something little, like missing a negative sign or multiplying two numbers wrong or something like that. So now it's just a matter of smoothing it out. It's a matter of practicing enough to where you're not making those little mistakes. What do I do here first? I'm solving. Macy? Okay, and what am I distributing? Okay, be careful. What kind of 6 is that? That's a negative 6, yep. So I'm doing negative 6 times negative 5 and negative 6 times 2. So 5x, negative 6 times negative 5 makes positive 30x. And negative 6 times negative 2 makes negative 12. That's going to be 35x minus 12 equals 16. Add the 12 to each side. I get 35x equals 28. And then when you divide, you do get a decimal, but it's not scary. What is it? Anyone have it already?
0.8.
0.8, that's it. Yep, x equals 0.8, which is correct for this one. So then let's take what x equals and plug it back in right here where it tells us what y equals. So I'm going to have y equals negative 5 times 0.8 plus 2. I think that's going to come out to be negative 2. Is that right? So y equals negative 2. And so your final coordinate would be 0.8, comma, negative 2. Do we need maybe one more? I'll do one more if you need it. Yep, Evelyn?
Number 6.
Evelyn.
I didn't hear that.
Number 8.
Number 8. Thank you, Isaiah.
I didn't hear you say her name.
That's okay. Number 8. Y equals negative x plus 6 and x minus 2y equals negative 6. What do I love about this problem?
It's already in the thing.
Yeah, the first one's already set for you, right? The first one already has y by itself. So I'm going to put negative x plus 6 in place of y right here. Okay. So now I have x minus 2, and then in parentheses, negative x plus 6 equals negative 6. What am I distributing? Distributing negative 2, yep. So that's going to be x, and what's this going to become?
2x.
Positive 2x, right? Positive 2x, and then negative 2 times 6 is negative 12, equals negative 6. This becomes 3x minus 12 equals negative 6. Add the 12. 3x equals 6. So x equals 2. Did you follow that okay? I know that I zoomed through the end there. Good? Okay, now let's take that x equals 2 and plug it back up in here where we have what y equals. So y is going to equal negative 2 plus 6. Everyone okay with that negative 2? Like, why did I make that a negative 2 when it was supposed to be positive?
Because the x was negative.
Because there was a negative in the problem, yeah. So negative 2 plus 6 is 4. So parentheses 2 comma 4. Feeling a little better? Here's what I would like to do now.